9 p.m. Tuesday night, time for the bottom line tonight. These are the top stories. Tonight on the bottom line, out with the old, in with the new. Government sets aside 1 billion shillings for unique personal identifier dubbed Maisha Card. Also tonight, 82% of Kenyans say the cost of living is at an all-time high, a report by Infotrack reveals. And a head teacher in Kakamega dies in mysterious circumstances after a night with a lover. A sign language interpreter tonight. My name is Brian Amuai, and you can be part of the program by engaging us on our socials. That is at Amuai Brian on Twitter, at Lookuptv. The hashtag we're using tonight is the bottom line KE. We are also live on Facebook and on YouTube, where you can send your feedback, and we'll be able to sample some of it as we continue with the program tonight. Tell us where you are watching us from and what you think about the stories that we're running today. Now let's get started on what has been making headlines across the country. The national government will, from the 29th of this month, roll out new identity cards that will be known as Maisha cards. Now the new digital cards will phase out the third generation identity cards that are currently in use. Now, while announcing the new identity digital system has been under review for the past 2.5 months, Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Immigration, Ambassador Julius Bituk, says the Maisha cards will have unique personal identifier that will be issued at the birth and which will last throughout the individual's lifetime.
Following the President's directive to implement a digital identification card within 90 days, the subcommittee of the National Digital Identity Technical Committee approved the third-generation identity cards known as Maisha cards, which will be issued to Kenyans starting October.
The National Steering Committee on Digital Identity has graciously approved the proposals made by National Digital Identity Technical Committee to have a national digital ID implemented.
Speaking to the press after a breakfast meeting today, the Immigration Principal Secretary Julius Bitok stated that the Maisha number is a unique personal identifier that will be used throughout the lifetime of a person.
The National Digital Identity has 4 components. One component is a unique personal identifier called Maisha number. The second component is called Maisha card, a third generation ID, which is a new version of the current ID which we have. The fourth component is the digital ID, the option of having the ID on a mobile phone instead of having a physical card. The last component, the fourth component, is what we call National Master Population Register, a register which comprises of all persons living in Kenya.
He added that the Maisha number is an upgrade from Huduma number, as they will use information from the databases and no biometrics will be needed from the citizens.
I want to say that we are not talking about Huduma number here. We are saying we have a new project called Maisha number, and it is a UPI, unique personal identifier. And that number, when someone is given that number at birth, that is the same number which will be their school identification number, it will be their university identification number, it will be their ID number when they turn 18, it will be their PIN number for KRA, it will be their number all through their lifetime. In this Maisha number, we are using the existing databases. We are using the existing data we have in civil registration, in national registration, in immigration, to be able to come up with Maisha number. So we are saying we are not going back to Kenyans to ask them, give us your biometrics, we are going to have to use the existing database.
Bitok mentioned that the issuing of the cards will start with those that are yet to turn 18 and those that need replacements for their lost identification cards.
But for those guys who are turning 18, we'll start immediately issuing them with the Maisha number. And for those guys also who have lost their IDs, we are saying we are going to give them the new digital cards. We expect His Excellency to launch it on the 29th of September this year, which is coming in about 3 weeks' time.
Hadassa Crystal, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Right, thank you, Adasa Christopher, for that report. Moving on, as the Kenya Kwanza administration marks 1 year in office, 72% of Kenyans are of the opinion that Kenya is headed in the wrong direction. Now, this is according to a research poll conducted by Infotrack. And as Ian Ketani now reports, 55% of Kenyans have confidence in the leadership of President William RUTO despite the high cost of living. William Samoei
RUTO. With President William RUTO marking exactly 1 year in office tomorrow, Kenyans continue to grapple with the high cost of living, many of them remaining hopeful that the situation will turn around sooner rather than later.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya.
According to a poll conducted by research firm Infotrack, 72% of Kenyans feel the country is headed in the wrong direction. A further 15% are of the opinion that the country is headed in the right direction, with 12% remaining unsure of the country's situation. After the implementation of the Finance Act, Kenyans continue to bear the burden of the skyrocketing prices of common commodities, with the most Kenyans lamenting about the high cost of living, high rate of unemployment, and the quality of education as issues of key concern that should be addressed, with a high number of students traveling overseas for further studies. With both sides of the political divide locked in talks aimed at finding an amicable solution to the country's prevailing political problems, 55% of Kenyans are confident with President William Ruto's administration, with a further 47% satisfied with the role of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Tulikubaliana lazima tushughulike na kuteremusha gharama ya maisha, kupunguza gharama ya chakula. Si ni kweli? Na ndio sababu hiyo tukaweka mpango maalum ya kuhakikisha kwamba gharama ya kuzalisha chakula tunaipunguza.
With the President William Ruto assuring Kenyans that the cost of living will come down, 82% of Kenyans feel that the cost of living has skyrocketed. A further 12% are of the opinion that the cost of living is somewhat higher than before, with only 2% feeling that the cost of living has remained constant. Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Now, thank you, Ian Ketani, for that particular report. Moving on, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has strongly criticized parties that engage in divisive politics that threaten peace in the country. Now, speaking in Kajiado, where he presided over the installation of the first Deputy County Commissioner in the county, Kindiki assured residents that the government has set aside development funds to improve the services and infrastructure in the area.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has today overseen the commissioning of the first Deputy Commissioner of Kajiado County and the establishment of Elangata was sub-county headquarters. The objective is to improve services to the residents of Kajiado County and to also upgrade the basic infrastructure of the county. Kindiki added that the government has allocated funds to cater development projects and strengthen security services in the county.
Ya serikali, mimi nataka niseme ya kwamba tutafanya kazi na viongozi wenu wote ili tuhakikishe ya kwamba mambo ya maendeleo hapa Kajiado County na Kajiado West inasonga mbele kulingana na sera za serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ambayo ni serikali iko mamlakani wakati huu.
Kindiki further noted that his ministry intends to create employment opportunities such as Deputy County Commissioner and other positions. Kindiki has promised to promote Kajiado County employees to improve services to the residents of the area.
Katika baraza ya mawaziri kuna mjadala ama hoja ambayo inangojea kupitishwa ambayo italazimisha wale wawekezaji wa magadi soda pesa ambao wanatoa pale asilimia fulani ibaki hapa Kajiado County kwa maendeleo ya hapa kwa community.
In addition, the CS has said that Kajiado County will be published in the National Gazette as one of the hardship counties and suggested that county workers will receive a salary increase. This comes even as Kindiki criticizes politicians who engage in politics, which results to violence, and warns that they will be dealt with accordingly.
We are going to gazette Kajiado as a hardship area, ili wafanyikazi ambao wanafanya kazi hapa waongezwe fedha kidogo, ili itawasaidia kumudu maisha ya hapa, wasikuwe wanauliza transfer all the time. Ona, tumewakalia ngumu wale walikuwa wanataka kuvuruga Kenya kwa kuleta uchochezi na vita na maafa na uharibifu wa mali. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie nikiwa hapa Elangata West, hakutatokea Kenya tena siasa potovu, siasa ya uchochezi na vita. Hiyo hatutakubali. Hakuna mtu hata mmoja ataruhusiwa kuvuruga amani ya nchi.
Nushin Mungasia, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Thank you, Nushin Mungasia, for that particular report. Moving on, Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, has held peaceful demonstrations today to address pertinent concerns in the health sector. Now, with poor medical facilities taking center stage, the union wants national government to deliver on its promises, failure to which the protests will continue. Now, Mevin Getembe reports.
From Kenyatta National Hospital, through the Ministry of Health, and finally at the Council of Governors office. Demonstrations that sought to find answers to the ailing sector led by KMPDU Chair Abi Mwanchi. The union now wants their pressing grievances addressed.
10 years later, we are worse not just in the number of health workers we employ every year, but we are worse in the number of health workers currently working in the hospitals and totally in the health sectors. But more worrying has not really been the fact that employees have not been employing doctors or health workers. What hurts is the deliberate removal of instruments that basically protect the right of health workers to be employed, to be trained, to be remunerated, and to be deployed and socially protected.
Presenting a petition for the third time now, after signing a memorandum of understanding in 2018, the union has highlighted 5 agendas, which they say, if addressed accordingly, will end the frequent strikes.
The doctors have taken to the street today to peacefully demonstrate and express the profound dissatisfaction with the deplorable state of healthcare in public hospitals and also private facilities. This demonstration serves as a collective call for urgent action to address the critical issue plunging the healthcare system, which directly impact the quality of care that our patients receive. We are particularly concerned about the severe shortage of human resource, inadequate availability of essential drugs, and a chronic shortage of medical supplies in the public facilities.
Addressing the union during the protests, Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nahumincha stated that there is need to involve major stakeholders, have a sit-down and settle to lasting solutions, saying that the health status is deteriorating.
And if you want to have a conversation, you must provide an environment where we talk to each other, but not talking at each other. Now, I want to take this opportunity to thank you who are critical stakeholders of healthcare. I recognize you as key stakeholders of the healthcare in this country. And I acknowledge that you have come because you have issues to be addressed.
The protests were witnessed from Kenyatta National Hospital all the way to Council of Governors, here where doctors through KMPDU presented a petition which had 5 agendas, and one of the agenda was employment. Now, giving the government an ultimatum of 14 days for their issues to be addressed, failure to which they say they will be back on their streets. Mevin Getembe, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Now, more than 120 Kenyan employment agency companies are being investigated by the Immigration Labor Department for alleged human trafficking and skewed recruitment processes. Now, during a session with the Parliamentary Committee, Ministry of Labor Principal Secretary Geoffrey Kaituko revealed that the government is putting in place new legal measures to contain the situation.
Task force.
The actions by the Ministry of Immigration to investigate more than 120 agents on allegation of corruptive behavior in registering workers to work abroad is a proof of the government's determined effort to put to an end the fracas surrounding the migrant workers, which comes as a relief to the troubled thousands of Kenyans who are experiencing hard situations at the hands of their employers overseas.
These agencies who have either swindled money from people
and therefore not delivered on the promises, let me tell you, the law is going to catch up with them. And there are many of them whom we have deregistered. They are not in business.
According to the Principal Secretary at the Labour Department, Geoffrey Kaituko, only 477 agents are registered and legally recognized in the country. This comes after complaints that Kenyans working abroad are having tough experience with the employers, while some recruitment agencies are said to be violating the law as they involve in human trafficking.
The relationship is improving, I'll tell you, and also thanks to Parliament, thanks to the President, the focus that this sector is getting has forced us to come together.
Principal Secretary Kaituko says the ministry intends to enact strong laws to deal with the culprits involved.
We don't pursue agencies because they are PRS, but there are agencies that have taken money from people and they haven't taken them abroad. But we have agencies also who are involved in outright human trafficking. And that is something that we need to combat as a country because Kenya is now in the red zone.
Today, the Parliamentary Committee on Immigration, chaired by Taita Taveta Representative Lydia Haika, held a session with the key stakeholders in the sector to highlight the changes faced in the sector, especially by those seeking jobs abroad.
We were undertaking an inquiry on the role and conduct of the private recruiting agencies in the country, and so far we have met different stakeholders on the same. This sector was a bit neglected, and that is why we have so many challenges, we have so many complaints regarding migrant workers and the affairs of the entire diaspora community.
Moreover, the several cases where scammers are stealing from innocent and unsuspecting Kenyans who are looking for jobs by deceiving them that they will help them get jobs abroad and later on vanish. Lack of strong laws is among the issues that contribute Kenyans working abroad to suffer in the hands of foreign employers.
I would like to enlighten Kenyans, and I tell them, recruiters are just like signboard. Can be able to get information from the recruiter, but I see the danger where the government tells the recruiter to keep that data. It should not happen, because a recruiter can choose to close his office and you cannot follow him. He has maybe gone relocated to another country. How can you follow him?
Njengi Timothy, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
All right, time for us to take a short break here on the program. But before we do that, let me sample some of your feedback here. Djibouti KE says tuned in from Kericho County. Thank you so much. Simba says watching from Voi. Korir Simotwo says tuned in from Ruiru. Mulinge Musau says, okay, responding to one of the comments here. And Mato Mbariko says, Mambo ni matatu. Continue engaging us on Facebook at Lookuptv. You'll be able to sample some of your feedback. Tell us where you are watching us from and what you think about the stories that we are running today. I'll be reading that when we continue with this program tonight. Hashtag is the bottom line. We take that break with my sign language interpreter tonight, Josephine Oko. We'll be back in a few.
Realize your home ownership dream by investing in Brookvale Tuala, a magnificent prime residential property located in Ongata Rongai. Brookvale Tuala by Safaricom Investment Cooperative overlooks the majestic Ngong Hills and lies only 24 kilometers from Nairobi CBD. The project boasts of well-serviced plots with a perimeter wall, graded roads and a borehole. 50 by 100 plots are going for 1.4 million shillings with a flexible payment plan of up to 6 months. To book your plot, call 0729 121212 today. Safaricom Investment Cooperative, the investment partner of choice.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park, fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
All right, now thank you so much for staying with us here on the program tonight. Let's continue updating you with the news making headlines across the country. Now, police in Kakamega have launched investigations after the school principal of St. James High School, Joseph Nabongo, was found dead in a lodging room this morning. Now, according to reports, Nabongo developed health complications while in the company of Alava. Rugaival now reports.
Police officers in Kakamega County have launched investigations in a case in which the head teacher of St. James High School, Esumeia in Navaholo constituency, was found dead under mysterious circumstances in a rented house at Shiseru Center. According to neighbors of the deceased, Joseph Nagambo, led by Lilian Afula, it is alleged that the deceased arrived home in the evening in the company of his girlfriend, carrying foodstuffs. However, by morning, she had reportedly informed the neighbors of his demise.
Kulingana na hicho kifo chake hatuwezi jua kwa sababu imeonekana ya kwamba kulikuwa na msichana ambaye amekuwa anaweza kuwa na ujumbe fulani kuhusu hicho kifo, lakini hakutueleza. Huyo msichana amekuwa tu hapo wakati tunajaribu kumuuliza amenyamaza, so tunashindwa kujua huyo msichana anaweza kuwa amehusika katika hicho kifo ama anaweza kuwa alijua ambacho kilimuua.
The school's board, chaired by Reverend Alex Ondumbo, has stated that the deceased had been instrumental since he joined the high school in the month of March this year.
Ijumaa tulikuwa na mkutano, executive board meeting. Tulikuwa na principal, alikuwa mchangamfu, alikuwa mwenye afya. Tuliongea na yeye Jumamosi, alikuwa sawa. Lakini tumacha, kwa sababu ni police case, tumacha askari wafanye kazi yao. Watatuelezea kiini gani ambacho kilifanya aage. Principal alikuwa mtu mchangamfu sana, alikuwa mwalimu mwenye bidii, alikuwa anapenda nidhamu na alikuwa ameweka shule yetu vizuri sana.
Kakamega OCPD Valerian Obore has indicated that drugs and hospital booklet from Jamia Mumias Hospital were discovered alongside the deceased body.
Kuna madawa hata imepatikana hapo akiwa labda alikuwa mgonjwa, alikuwa na meza. Kuna wakati tumepata kwa gari kulikuwa na vitu fulani kwa gari, so hatujajua vizuri sana kifo chake kimetokea na nini.
He mentioned that the police officers have initiated an investigation and are awaiting the results of the autopsy.
Tuko na huzuni sana kama shule, hata wanafunzi pia wanaomboleza, walimu na kila mtu, sababu hii imetupata in an abrupt case, what you call an abrupt case.
Roga Evil, Lookuptv.
All right, now thank you, Ruga Ival, for that particular report. Let's go political. Now, the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal has issued interim orders stopping the ODM party from expelling rebel MPs, including Kisumu Senator Tom Ojenda, Game MP Elisha Odhiambo, and Langata MP Felix Oduor, pending the hearing and determination of their petition. The Registrar of Political Parties has also been ordered not to delist the trio as members of the ODM. The tribunal has further ordered the ODM party not to de-whip them from various house committees. ODM party expelled the 5 members of parliament who rebelled from the party and instead supported President William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza coalition. Now, in a National Executive Council meeting chaired by party leader Raila Odinga, the party said it had begun the process of removing them from the party. From the party registrar, rather, thus rendering them partyless. Ojienda, Odhiambo and Jalango were expelled last Wednesday alongside MPs Karoli Omondi of Suba South and Gideon Ochanda of Bondo. Now, residents of Dagoretti North, led by area MP Beatrice Elachi, are now calling on the security agencies to beef up security in the area following an increase in insecurity activities in that particular area. Now, Elachi says the situation has been brought about by rogue individuals who are now terrorizing every residence.
Dagoretti North Member of Parliament Beatrice Elachi, in company of multi-security agencies in Nairobi County, have castigated the rising cases of insecurity in Kawangware and its environs.
So, just young people feeling, oh, we can just wake up, steal and do all this. We've come here because we now have a very high level of insecurity. That young people can wake up with machetes and just stand on Sokomjinga Road and decide today women are not passing to go to the market. And they will terrorize and they will take everything and leave these women like that.
The lawmaker says the situation has been brought about by emerging of drugs and brewing centers in the area, which in return has raised tension and posed a security threat to the residents.
You've realized they have stolen all the tokens of Kenya Power. It means also this has to be with someone with Kenya Power, because a token is given and it's structured based on that area. You cannot take it to another place.
The lawmaker now wants area residents to remain vigilant so as to help multi-agency team during investigations.
I want to plead with the government. I know I'll go and see our CS Interior and CS Health to now, when you start a strategy of dealing with drugs and alcohol, you must have a way of now moving down to see how you are recovering and how they are recovering. And I think that safe place of recovery is what we don't have.
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv.
To matter business tonight, the government has begun registering farmers countrywide to its distribution of subsidized fertilizer. Now, this is in line with President William Ruto's directive to digitize national register to weed out cartels exploiting farmers. This and more stories in the business front.
The national government has moved an initiative to create a digitized national register to weed out rogue traders who have been exploiting farmers by selling subsidized fertilizers. Help the farmers access government digital platforms.
Na tulimanage kuregister wakulima 3,430 in one day. So 3,430. Mimi najua leo itakuwa wengi sana kwa sababu najua siku ya kwanza iko na challenges yake nini, hata hujui nani anafanya hiyo kazi. So tunakuhakikishia kwamba itaendelea.
In line with President William Ruto's push to digitize farming and curb corruption in the sector, the move will also ensure traceability, accountability and transparency in implementing of the fertilizer subsidy programs.
President William Ruto amedirect sisi watu wa agriculture na watu wa county government kuregister wakulima wote katika Kenya, kwa sababu tunataka kuwafanyia mpango njema ya kuhakikisha ni njia gani tunaweza kusaidia wakulima.
Elsewhere, the United States Agency for International Development USAID has donated out $24.8 million to facilitate projects in 9 counties of Isiolo, Marsabit, Samburu, Turkana, Wajir, Kitui, Makueni and Taita Taveta. With partnership with the county governments and the Stawi project, USAID intends to promote water management and governance of a 5-year period deal.
Project cost for USAID Stawi is 24.8 million across the 9 counties and spread over 5 years. Yeah, so today we having a co-creation session, which is basically a joint work planning session with the county government of Isiolo. So in this session, we are basically agreeing on the priorities, or joint priorities that the county has.
The Lake Victoria-based water bus company, which has been offering transport services across Lake Victoria, has entered into partnership deal with the Luanda Kenyans Beach Management Unit to foster their operations at the lake region. The collaboration took effect with an aim of pursuing the construction of jetty that will be a common user facility for all the stakeholders at the Luanda K Beach, attracting investors deal irrespective of gender or race.
Here on the Kenya sector, but we're planning to expand our services into Uganda next year and Tanzania. All of our vessels are built in Kisumu, Kenya, by Kenyans, providing good, well-paid jobs that are going to withstand the test of the pretty bad economy we're seeing at the moment.
Regan Meguran, Business Watch, Nairobi.
Now, police in Kikuyu, Kiambu County were forced to disperse crowds that were fetching cooking oil from a lorry that was involved in an accident. Now, residents have been advised against using the oil for consumption, with the police saying the oil is yet to undergo refinement.
This was the view. Residents of Kikuyu in Kiambu area swiftly fetching unrefined cooking oil after the lorry transporting it from Mombasa to Uganda was involved in an accident in Gitaru area. The police, led by the deputy police commander, has warned the residents against using the unrefined cooking oil for cooking, noting that it is unsafe for consumption as it is yet to undergo full processing.
Hii gari ilikuwa inatoka Mombasa ikiwa inabeba mafuta unrefined ya kupika, ilikuwa inapeleka Uganda. So wakati ilifika mahali hiyo ikapata tire burst ikaanguka. So hii mafuta ni unrefined na ningeomba wananchi wasiweze kutumia hii mafuta sababu itawadhuru kwa njia nyingine ama nyingine.
In other news, as the fight against drug abuse among the youth continues to take shape in the country, the United Methodist Church in Kenya is rooting for vocational and life skills training to the youth in a bid to tame the rising cases of substance abuse. This happening as over 100 youths graduated in Naivasha in various courses under the Inua Partners in Hope program supported by the United Methodist Church.
This is the 13th year, and we have more than 100,000 youth who have already graduated with our program. Today, we had 124 out of 160, and we know that they are going to be very, very productive.
Elsewhere, residents of Mukogodo West in Laikipia County are facing an acute shortage of food following prolonged drought that has hit the region. The residents with smiles on their faces have sent their heartfelt gratitude to their MP Jane Kagiri, who donated foodstuffs in an effort.
Pia serikali ni lazima tuangaliwe kama watu wetu wa Laikipia wapewe chakula, na ninashukuru serikali ya His Excellency William Ruto kwa sababu saa zile niliwaambia nakuja huku walinisaidia na wakaniambia kwanza pelekea watu wako chakula.
Wairimo Wasike, Lookuptv.
All right. We get sporty tonight. Kenya national football men's team Harambee Stars lost 1-0 to Bright Stars of South Sudan in a friendly match held at Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, on Tuesday evening. Now, the early goal in the second minute of the first half cemented a win for the South Sudanese.
It's not only one game, it's all a learning process. And when also people ask me what I think about the game result or whatever I told you, it's all about what I think, how we play. I cannot only think for the result. So for today, I don't know why. I was a little bit afraid after the match against Dubai that the boys are not so focused or not concentrated, but the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes was different. They were so nervous. I don't know if it's because we are after 2 years first time home. I don't know why. So we make very simple mistakes. And in the end also, if you think Joseph Okumu is one of the best we have, and he never makes a mistake like this, it happens. This is football. This is the reason why we are a team. So after this, I think we dominated totally the game. South Sudan defended very well, I have to say, but it has also to do with our play, because what we trained is forcing the sides, overlapping on the sides. It doesn't work like I wanted. So this I saw in the creativity we lacked sometimes. Of course, we have enough goal chances to win the match, and in the end, I can easily say that South Sudan had not even a goal chance, but they won. This is the reality of football.
Kule Ureno ndio maana kamruhusu beki yule, nafasi anapeana kwa Tito Okello.
All right, another particular story brings us to the end of our bulletin tonight here on Lookuptv. It has been the bottom line. Thank you so much. 37 minutes past the hour. It has been a pleasure and an honor that you've been able to keep me company for those particular minutes as I bring you up to date with the news making headlines across the country. I want to wind up, but let me just take a check your feedback. James Nganga says, live in Mushada. Mambo ni yale yale tu matatu. Thank you so much for tuning in. Matom Barikiwa says mambo ni matatu. Thank you so much for tuning in too. And Pablo Moja says watching from Ruiru. We do appreciate your feedback. We don't take it for granted. Continue engaging us on our socials. That is at Lookuptv. And in case you missed any of our bulletins or stories that we did air tonight, be sure to catch that on our socials. That Lookuptv across social medias. That is on Facebook and also on YouTube. Let's do this again next time. That is Tuesday next week or this weekend when I bring you news on Lookup Weekend. My name is Brian Amuai. On behalf of everyone that was able to facilitate this tonight, I do want to thank you so much for watching. Do have yourselves a lovely night, and our Sanagoji interpreter tonight has been Josephine Oko. Good night.